Hello, everybody. So today we're going to start the workshop, and this workshop is going to be about debating for beginners. So if my voice is clear, please raise your hands so I can see. Yeah, great. So for the rest, is there any problems? Good. So our workshop is going to start now, and I'm going to be introducing myself. So my name is Noor Al-Shamari, and I'm an English teacher. And I'm a researcher in the educational field and trainer at Schools Debate and an international and local judge. So I participated in judging local and international tournaments in Arabic mostly. So this is my first opportunity to present debating to people who are interested in debating in English. So I hope that you're going to understand the points, and if there is any problems or you would like to ask me, you can. I opened the questions, so you can ask me any question while I'm presenting. So if you have any question, you can type your questions in the Q&A part. Great. So before we start this part, we're going to talk about our school's debate team or club. So the club is part of the Ministry of Education, and we have some trainers that train students in order to participate in tournaments and in order to get championships and to get best speakers roles and tournaments all around the world. So first of all, there are tournaments here in Kuwait that are in Arabic, and there will be tournaments in English, hopefully, for the next few years. So those are our accounts. If you would like to participate in any of our club and what we present in the club, and you're going to have a lot of fun because of the experience and the people that you're going to find there, and you're going to gain a lot of knowledge because of that. So I would like to start with this quote, which is a very highly known quote, especially in the debating world. We say that today's debaters are tomorrow's leaders. So I don't know if you guys would like me to translate anything or talk slowly. So if you would like me to translate, raise your hands so I can see. So there aren't any problems. Should I continue? Raise your hand if you would like to comment or talk about any point that I've just discussed, so I can allow you to talk and unmute your mic. Okay, so you don't have any questions. Great. So in this workshop, we're going to talk about those objectives that you have in front of you. So The objectives are, we're going to discover the concept of debating and demonstrate the importance of debating and analyze the format of a school debate, because it's different from like one type of debate than the other, and illustrate the basics of building an argument, which is the main thing in a debate. So first of all, do you know what's a debate? Raise your hand if you'd like to answer. I would really like it if you communicated with me so I can know that you're understanding what I'm saying. So here we have Wafa and Aziz. If any one of you would like to talk, it would be great. Okay. Raise your hand if you can listen to me or if my voice is clear. Wafa, Aziz, and 8914. Is my voice clear? Good. So, would you like to participate? Raise your hand if you would like to participate. So we ideas with others, yes. This is my basic definition. So Wafa is saying that debating is negotiating meaning and ideas with others. Excellent, Wafa. So this is a very great definition of debating. So don't you think that people misunderstand debating with arguing? Mostly people think that to debate is to argue with one person. Do you agree with that? If you agree that debating is arguing, raise your hand. Fatoon, welcome here. Raise your hand if you think that debating is arguing. So none of you think that debating is arguing, which is great. So today, we're going to see the concept of debating and what it really means and what is the importance of debating in our lives. So mostly debating is a discussion. Okay, I couldn't see here. Debating is a discussion and exchange of two opposing points of view. So you have your point of view and I have my point of view. Let's say about a specific topic, which is allowing students in schools to have their phones. So some people agree that students should have phones in schools and some people disagree. So we have two parts, people who agree and people who disagree. So a debate is a discussion between those people. So the people who agree and disagree. And mostly when we're talking about debating in like schools, we're talking about teams. So we have two teams, the opposing team and the proposition team. So teams engage in formal arguments in an attempt to convince the judge that their point of view is the best. And a debater uses effective speech skills to support their position. So in order to make sure that the judge or the person in front of you that you're trying to convince understands your point of view, you have to structure your arguments and make sure that the people in front of you understand. So I asked you if you can hear my voice clearly. Okay, and you said yes. So my question now is, do you need me to translate any of the points that I just discussed? Raise your hands if you want me to translate something. And you can write me any question in order for me to answer you. Great. And if you would like to comment or talk, you can raise your hand so I can hear you. So it would be great if you wanted to ask me so we can have an engagement between us. Okay. So this is the basic points of debating, or what is debating. Debating is a discussion between two teams or two people to talk about a specific topic that they disagree on. So they have opposing thinking. Some people think that and the others think the other thing. So this is my question to you. Which device is better, in your opinion? Is it Android or Apple? In your opinion, which device do you think is better? Write me in the comment section, like if you think that Apple is better than Android. Sorry, I think I'm having a technical problem. I couldn't see your chat. So let me check here. Okay, yeah, now I can see your chat. Good. So Aziz was saying debating is a form of discussion that leads to knowledge rather than ignorance and nonsense. It's all good. You may go ahead. Good, Aziz, thank you. And 8914 was saying Apple for sure. And Aziz was saying Apple. So Wafa and Fatun, what do you think? Which device is better, Apple or Android? I would like to hear your opinions. And Amal, welcome Amal. Okay, Fatun. So Fatun thinks Apple is better. So I think most of you think Apple is better. So what if I said, in my opinion, Android is better? And I can tell you why. Android has a lot of special features that Apple doesn't have. Oh, Amal, you agree with me. So what would you say about the point that I just said, that Android is better? Aziz, what do you think? And Amal, you can help me to convince them that Android is better than Apple. Okay, Apple is more easier, but what are you looking for in a phone? Are you looking for easier? If you're looking for easier, I think most parents like Android more than Apple. They find Android much easier than Apple. Don't you think that? So your point was straightforward. Apple is more easier. You didn't tell me how. I think that you're wrong. Apple has the same amount of features and better security system. That's why it's better. So you're talking about security system, Aziz, but I think that Android developed more features in the past that Apple is still trying to develop. So especially when we're talking about cameras, Apple cameras are much worse than Samsung cameras, right? you can tell me if my point is wrong or not. It's fine. And welcome to Khawla and AMH. So I would like to know your opinion. So our question is, which device is better? Is it Samsung, or which is Android, or Apple? So I was discussing with Aziz that he was saying that Apple has more security, but on the other hand, they have better front cameras. So Apple too more popular for teenagers than Android. So is it popular because it's easier, or is it popular just because it's popular? You know that a lot of things are popular with teenagers. Okay, let's see yours in the Q&A, Wafa. So we need to analyze the features of both devices to decide which one is better. Of course, Wafa. So in your opinion, what do you use? Do you use Android? And why? Why did you choose this device and didn't choose the other? If any one of you would like to talk using a mic, you can raise your hand so I can know. Okay. So Aziz is saying they support more social media applications, which makes them better than Android because they don't support as many applications. So Aziz, I think that both Apple Store and Play Store have the same amount of applications. So what social media applications that Android has or Apple has, and the opposite don't have? So they both have Snapchat, they both have Twitter, they both have whatever application that we're talking about. So I don't think your argument is valid here, Aziz. But talking about security, but supporting the application, can you tell us what do you mean by supporting the application? Oh, great, Amal. So this is a very great point. So Amal is saying that she thinks that Android gives the users the ability to customize camera settings and even general features. So I agree, most Android users think that Android gives you an opportunity to be creative with your device. On the other hand, Apple users are more stick into like a pattern, like of security or doing 1, 2, 3 in order to make their device work. Okay, so Fatun uses her Apple device just because she only used to use it. Have better batteries. So this is a valid point, Aziz. So Amal gave us 2 points. Okay, great. So, and Aziz's point of view, he's saying that Apple supports applications better. So Android doesn't give a clear quality and better fonts and faster download and upload rate. So we just had a discussion about which device is better. So you've seen how the discussion is going. So we had two types of arguments: people who argued that the device is better because of 1, 2, 3, and people who only said that the device is better because they are used to it, like Fatoon. So Fatoon, you know, that's not an argument. So let's see how we can think as we are in a debate and how we can build an argument together. Right. So now I can see your chat and I can look at my screen. So if you have any question while I'm going through the presentation with you, I would be happy to answer you. Okay. So this is why debating is important and different than any type of argument between two people. So in an argument, you're only blasting out information that are not important or might be important somehow. But in a debate, you're being specific. You're saying why you think that this point is valid and why you think that the other point that the person just said is not valid. So this is very important. So this is what differentiates between a debate and a regular communication. So debating is very important because it improves our speaking skills and improves our ability to think on our feet, because you're given the motion like before the debate 15 minutes. So you have to think clear and you have to think fast, develops critical thinking and develops reasoning skills. So if you have any questions, you may ask me about the importance of debating. So we're going to jump to debating format, but before we do that, we just talked about the definition of debating, and we said that it is expressing some arguments with or against the motion that we have in hand. And we talked about arguments in general, which are the things that you say in order to convince the person that is in front of you of your point of view. And we talked about how we can use those arguments, like in the example of which device is better, Android or Apple. You gave me arguments and Aziz tried to convince me in Apple, and Emil, on the other hand, tried to convince me in Android. So as we looked at the examples and your discussions and what you just said, it's clear that when you want to convince somebody with your point of view, that you have to explain what you mean. So you don't say that Apple is easier to use, because this is a very short and it's not something that's going to convince the person that is in front of you. So you have to be more specific and more to point. So when you tell me it's easier to use, tell me why it's easier to use and why is Samsung or Android not easier to use. So you have to give me your point of view and show me why is the person against you not correct. So this is the difference between having a debate and something that you're benefiting from, and between talking as in a regular argument or a regular communication or conversation. Okay? So have you been to a debate, or do you know anything about debating? Write to me in the comments. I know that Amal participated in Arabic debating and Fatoon too. So I would like to know if the rest of you know anything about debating, so I can explain more or show you more what happens in a debate. Like Aziz, Wafa, and 8914. Oh, nice, Aziz. 8914, what's your name? So I can communicate, like wouldn't say the number. Give me your first name so it would be easier. Hi رغد. You're رغد ربيعان. Oh, okay. Welcome. So, Wafa, have you participated trying to convince others with your opinion and point of view? Khawla, yes, excellent. That's what a debate is. Khawla, have you ever participated in a debate before? In Arabic or in English? Okay, so you're going to learn today new things or new ways of how a debate works. But for the rest of you, Aziz, Ragad, and Fatoon and Amal, you know all of those things, but this is new when you learn them in English terminology. So you have the basic knowledge of arguments and you know what arguments mean and you know what being in a debate mean, but it's not that different in English, but you're going to learn the term for each thing. So in Arabic, we have two teams, opposition team and proposition team, which are in Arabic what? Who can tell me in the group discussion, the two teams? Excellent, yes, Rabad. So those are the two teams that we have. So the opposition team and the proposition team. So let's look at the common characteristics. Yes, excellent, Aziz. So we have the topic or motion, which is what we're debating about. What is it called in Arabic? What we're debating about? If you have, excellent, very good. Exactly, Aziz. So this is the meaning of the topic or the motion. And we have the proposition team, which is with the topic or the motion, and the opposition team, which are against the topic or the motion. So is it clear now, the meaning or the difference between proposition and opposition? So it would be easier if you understand that opposition, which is the opposite, is the person that is against, and proposition is the person that is with. Good? Is it clear now? Or do you need me to clarify it more? Excellent, very good. So sorry for being like in a teacher mood because I'm a teacher, you know, so that's why I'm asking a lot of questions so I can know if you understand or not. Because mostly in classes, we know if students understand from the look in their eyes. So I need you to participate with me so I can know if you understand or not. Okay. And we have limited time for speeches. So each speaker has a limited time. And speakers do not represent their own opinion. So in reality, I'm an iPhone user. I use Apple. But because I wanted you to tell me your opinion about which device you use, I made you think that I'm an Android user. So in a debate, you don't have to think or believe in the opinion that you're representing. So you try to convince the person or the judge in front of you that you surely believe in that opinion, although you don't. Okay? So I agree with you, Aziz, that Apple is much more easier, but I had to make you talk to tell me why. Okay, so the fourth thing is the purpose of the debate is not to find a resolution or a middle way. So we're not trying to say, oh, okay, this is your opinion and this is my opinion, and okay, let's go to our houses. This is not a debate. So in a debate, when you're talking with somebody, you're against them in every point that they're saying, but you choose specifically which points that you think that you're against them. So when I told Aziz that I don't think that Apple is easier because a lot of parents use Android instead of Apple. So this makes me think that Android is much easier. So I chose this point to say that I'm against Aziz's web. So you have to make sure that you choose the point that you think that you're against. So Aziz is asking, what are the differences between Arabic and English debates? So this is a very good question, Aziz. So first of all, when we're talking about schools, there isn't any difference. So school debates in all around the world are in the same technique. So they took the techniques and they made it as a tournament. We have 2 teams, 3 speakers in each team, and we have 4 speeches because we have the reply speech. As you know, in Arabic, we use that. But there is another kind of debate, which is the parliamentary debate, which is for university. It's not for school debates. So students in university use the British parliamentary debate, not in schools. So in schools, it's all the same, whether it's in Arabic or in English. And the only difference between Arabic and English is the terms that we use in order to talk about those debates. So like we said, we have the motion, and you're going to see that the motions in English is a bit different than the motions in Arabic. In Arabic, it's much clearer. We're going to see in English that we have short terms for each word. So I'm going to show you right now. Like here. Yes, exactly. British Parliament is when we have 2 opposition and 2 proposition teams. Exactly. And in each team, there are 2 speakers. So in whole, we have 8 speakers in the whole debate. In each team 2, and we have 4 teams. 2 teams opposition and 2 teams proposition. And this is the difference. But if you're talking about schools debating teams, we have only 2 teams, Aziz. So are you in school, Aziz, or are you in a university? So I can tell you the difference in those 2 different formats. Okay. So for the rest, the topics like the House believes that, okay, great, Aziz. So you're in school. So it would be great, like at the end of this workshop, that you communicate with us in our schools debate account, because we would like to have a team that represents Kuwait in tournaments. So if you would like to be more efficient in debating, please like communicate with us. And if you are interested in debating in English. So mostly, as I told you, Aziz, the difference in the motion is when we use words like the House believes that. So this is the difference. Let's see here. Okay, so in front of you, this House would. When we're talking about this House, which means the motion thinks, or the people who are in charge thinks that we should apply this rule. Sadly, you're a senior, it's too late. No, it's not, it's never too late. We have a tournament in a month or so you can participate. You didn't graduate yet, so you have an option to participate, Aziz. So see, you have a chance. Okay. And for the rest of you, if you would like to participate in a tournament, what about the departure in university? So in universities, we're going to wait for the university to start working in order to have a tournament. But if you're talking about the format of a university, like format, British Parliament, we're going to talk about the basics of debating. So you're going to have a clear point of view on what is a debate and how you would debate. And then we're going to see some format of debating. After that, it would be the same thing, but you're going to have 2 speakers instead of 3. So the argument and how you make an argument is the same, and how to define the motion is the same. The only difference is that you have 2 speakers. So the format is different. That's all. So in order for you to be good in debating in English, you have to understand the motion of the debate and know how to define the motion, because that's the difference between Arabic and English, which is the motion. So if you're good in building an argument, if you're good in building a case and refuting an argument, then you need to understand the motion. So in order to understand the motion and how it's different from Arabic, you have to see the points that I have in the screen. So this House would compel major polluters to accept environmental refugee. So this House means the person or the people that are in charge. So the people that are in charge want to compel, make the polluters in charge of environmental refugees. Okay, so we're going to apply some rules in order to make this motion happen. So these motions are usually change debates. They want to change the status quo, which are how things are happening. They often involve some kind of model, policy. How will you change things and implement your motion? So how will you implement the rule or the law that you're putting? So this is the example of this House would. So it's written THW. In the other example, this House believes that THBT. So it's different. These motions usually involve judging whether something is right or wrong, or seeing something if it's moral. So like in the example, the second example, this House believes that the death penalty is wrong. So what do you think about the death penalty? Do you think that it's wrong? Tell me your opinion. Do you think that the death penalty is wrong? And do you understand the meaning of the death penalty? Let me see your answers in the chat. Okay, Aziz, I didn't read your answer. So do the two opposing teams present the same points? Okay. I'm going to answer you, but after we talk about this point. It depends on the crime. So you don't have any problems with the death penalty, Ragad. So it depends on the crime. So you don't think that it's wrong. It isn't a matter of right or wrong. It is a matter of need. So what is the difference between need and right or wrong, Aziz? Tell me. So do we need to have a death penalty in order to make something good or bad? So Ragad, you don't have any problems. So if somebody killed a person, you agree that this person should have a death penalty, Ragad. Yes, so he or she can be an example for people. So there isn't anything wrong with the death penalty. So what if you were in the proposition team? Emil thinks that it's not effective. So Emil, why do you think it's not effective? Aziz, you're saying some things can be morally wrong, but we'll still need them to have a safe community and a fair one. So you're giving me a point that something might be right or wrong, but the need explains what we're doing and shows that this thing is right because it's giving us good outcomes. So Aziz, what you're saying is, yeah, exactly. So what you're saying is that even if it's wrong, we are achieving a good purpose. So in order, because we're achieving a good purpose, that means that this thing is good. Do you agree, Aziz, with what I'm saying? Because I couldn't say exactly. Okay, Emel, why do you think that it's not effective? If we want to prevent crimes, we should not commit another crime. So, Emel, you think that it's a crime to kill another person, but that person who killed a person shouldn't be punished? Or you think that he or she should be punished in a different way? And Aziz, what do you think of Emma's point of view? Do you agree with her or not? So, of course, we need an eye for an eye. Oh, sorry. Of course, we need some kind of punishment, but not killing, Emil. So, don't you think that putting a person in jail is a kind of punishment, and some people would think that that punishment is not good? Like you're taking away that person's freedom, and that might be morally not good. Amen. So it isn't a crime, an eye for an eye, a soul for a soul, kill someone for no reason, and that gives us the reason to kill you. So Aziz, you went to the extreme. But how can you convince Emil that it's not morally wrong? Try to convince her that, not with that point of view, because you killed, we're going to kill you. Show her how preventing that person from committing another crime is useful to our community. So, what would make us think that that person would stop killing if we didn't prevent that person from killing? I'm waiting for your response, Aziz. It's a very great topic for debating. Is my voice clear? Okay. So I'm going to continue in this point, and we're talking about the policy or the morality. It's not its practical outcomes. So these motions usually involve judging whether something is right or wrong on a moral or principled level. They might involve some practical elements and a proposition, and can choose to have a motto, but their focus should be specifically on the morality of the policy, not its practical outcome. So as I was saying, and I was telling Aziz and Ragad, that the difference between Arabic and English debates are how the motions are written. So the motions in Arabic are more like detailed. In English, they're like to the point. So this house believes that. So you have would that would apply a rule. This house believes that would give you the option of arguing about the morality of that debate motion. And you have, for another example, this house supports or regrets. So for example, this house supports the increasing role of social media in our daily life, or this house regrets the Arab Spring. So as we just said, there isn't any big difference in debating in Arabic and in English. So as you see in front of you, we have two teams, the proposition team and the opposition team. So because most of you debated in Arabic, we're going to go through that very quick. We have 3 speakers in each side, and each speaker is going to have a limited time to talk. The first speaker from the proposition team, and then the first speaker from the opposition team, and then the rest as the arrows go. At the end, we have 2 reply speeches, and in the reply speeches, the third speaker from each team, they don't have the opportunity to talk in the reply speech. So it's either the first speaker or the second speaker of the proposition or opposition team. And when you're debating, you don't sit in your seats you go in the front of the judges and you speak in front of the judges where you see the speaker is standing here. So this is the main thing about the debate and how the debate starts and how it ends. So the debate starts with the first proposition speaker and it ends with the reply speech from the proposition team. So it starts with the proposition team and it ends with the proposition team. So this is a very crucial point that you must know, that the speaker of the proposition team starts the debate and they end the debate from the proposition team. So it's very crucial to notice that debating is a teamwork. So you have to all have a good teamwork skill. So you must work together, know how to prepare your arguments together, listen to each other while you're talking or speaking, because you're writing the arguments that you're listening from your friend. So as debaters, you've tried debating before and you know how crucial and important this is. So I haven't read your comments about the penalty, the death penalty. So Emma was saying the government and the community should do their job. Okay, and Aziz replied, let's say that the person has killed a person, then he just went to jail and then he'd eventually get out. The death penalty has a clear message: don't kill people or this would be your end. If we don't have this penalty, some people would think that the crime isn't that bad because the penalty isn't that bad. So basically it is to set an example and send a clear message. Okay, good. And I would ask Emil, if we only put that person in jail, how can we guarantee that this person won't kill more people in jail? So it's a very good point, Aziz, and to the point exactly. And Emil had a good point too. So Emil was saying that in order to say that something is moral and something is not, we should think of what are our contribution in as a community. So is the government doing their part of raising awareness in order to stop the killing, or are they going and killing the people after the problem happens? So this is a very good point, Amal. So I liked both of your points, Aziz and Amal, but I'm going to talk about the format of the debate in a very quick and very like not very detailed because we don't have much time, unfortunately. So let's see here. We said that debating is a teamwork and we have to work together as a team in order to make a good argument and a good case. So in a debate, you have points of information that are not allowed in the first minute and are not allowed in the last minute of your speech. In order to give your point of information, which is POI, you raise your hand and you say, POI, I have a POI, or you stand up and ask a question after the speaker that is talking gives you the opportunity. So you can ask as many questions as you want, but that doesn't mean that you can talk in the first minute and in the last minute of the speech. So you can ask a question, you can say a statement that you don't agree with what that person is saying and you think that the point that they're saying is wrong, and you can like give short comments so you don't exceed 15 seconds when you're talking in the point of information. So in the speaker's roles, we talked about defining the motion and talking about the motion. So in general, those are the speaker's roles. And like if we're going to have another workshop, I'm going to talk about them in detail, hopefully. But if you have any questions about any of the points that I just said, just ask me before the workshop ends. I would be happy to answer your questions. Ragad and Aziz and Yusuf we have here. So if you have any questions about any of the points that we talked about in the workshop, like the definition of debating, why is debating important, what is the difference between debating in Arabic and in English, how the motion of the debate is different. So those are all the points that we talked about. So Aziz is asking, can I ask, what are the steps of an English debate? Are they the same as the Arabic ones? Yes, they're the same, basically. So if you're good in building an argument in Arabic, that means that you're good in building an argument in English. So an argument is an argument whether it's in Arabic or in English. So there isn't any big differences. Unless I told you, Aziz, if you're participating in a British Parliament format, there is like specific differences that are in the format, not in the way that you're presenting the argument. What are the steps? Okay. So, and in English, do we say Assalamu alaikum or not? This question has been going around my, oh, okay. So, Aziz, it depends on the panel that you're in front of, the judges that you're in front of. So mostly, if you're in front of Arabs, you can say that. So you can say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You can say that, or you can say hello, or I would like to welcome the judges that are in front of me. So as in steps, it's up to you. But if you're going in a tournament, you don't use Arabic words at all. You try to use English only. Any more questions, Aziz? And any one of you, Ragad and Yusuf, I think you've attended at the end, Yusuf. So if you have any questions, Yusuf, you can ask me. Yeah, exactly. The differences are in the terms, that's all. Nothing more. So debate is a debate. Great, Yusuf. I'm really happy that you've joined me today in this workshop, and I hope that you gained some information. Aziz, mostly what we talked about that you can benefit from is how the motion is different, the motion of the thing that you're arguing about or you're debating about, and the terms of debating and proposition opposition team and POI. Don't forget that, Aziz, which is the point of information. So I'm really happy with any of your questions, and if you don't have any, you're welcome, Aziz. Thank you. Thank you for participating. And thank you very much, Ragad. I enjoyed your answers too, Ragad. And thank you, Yusuf, for attending as well. And you can follow us in our Instagram and Twitter account if you have any questions. We would be happy to answer you. And thank you all.